Hey everybody, Joe from Bumbling Acres. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you're having a great Labor Day and celebrating by taking some much earned rest and however you choose to do so, whether having a barbecue or whatever. Life on the homestead still goes on, so Labor Day means I just get the day off from my other job and I get to do some stuff around the house, which is actually very fulfilling. One of the ways I make it through my regular job is because the homestead gives me resiliency, I think is a good word. Today's topic, pocket topic, maybe that's what we'll start calling it. Kind of wanted to talk about is homestead. If you're going to get into homesteading, there's a fine line. You really become an opportunist. You wind up, accumulating things for future projects. It's always good to have extra lumber laying around. It's always good to have, we have various. If you drive up on our property, we got a lot of sheet metal laying around. We've got probably 15 pallets along with one super long one we're going to use to make fences. I've got two big water jugs, one that's catching water currently from our downspout and one I just got yesterday. If you drive up to our lot, you're going to see the big mounds of between probably 8 to 10 tons of wood chips that are there. These are all for projects in the future, and part of being a homesteader is you always have 1,000 projects and not nearly enough time to do them. So inevitably, you accumulate things for preparation of that. I mean, you've got to walk the fine line. I've never been a hoarder of types. Someone just keeps stuff for sentimental reasons. Part of that's from my time in the Marine Corps and moving all over the world. You kind of just learn to travel with a sea bag, and I have very few things of my own. But as a homesteader, suddenly you'll grow up with giant mounds around you. You'll wind up having your chicken tractors and your annoying ducks, your guinea hens, which are going wild right now. But, as a homesteader, you need to get used to certain accumulating of things and trying to organize and have a system in place for where you're going to keep this stuff. Because inevitably, the projects you need to do, you will not have time to get them all done in one fell swoop. So inevitably, you're going to start gathering projects that you need to do. Plus, the other reality is get used to as a homesteader, unless you're just financially loaded, which I certainly am not. I don't know too many people who could just buy everything that you need. You get used to, well, this will be good for a project a month from now. This will be good for a project for this, for that. And you kind of have to learn to get prepped in advance. So, you need to gradually compile all the things you need. So that kind of becomes the lifestyle. It's like I said, not hoarding, but you will start to accumulate in advance for projects. So get used to having a lot of stuff. If you're the kind of human being that likes to have a clean and perfect yard, homesteading is going to test you a little bit, because you're going to have to find a place to put all the stuff you're going to be working on. So now this Labor Day, we have to mark special moments. I'm a big believer in marking moments, and today was our first animal sale. A little thing. We had gotten some guinea hen eggs, and we had hatched them in our incubator, and we had out of 10 of them, we were able to 5 of them hatched, and we have 3 guinea hens. We don't really have a need for another. We'd like to have a 4th one, to have another female, but since you really can't tell what a fowl is for a while, we didn't want to keep them, and we figured they would go to a good home. So somebody came and picked up some guinea hens from us. They bought the 5 that we had. So it's a little thing, but those are, it's important to mark the moments of your life. Today, a project that I've been talking about doing forever. Our chicken roost is a converted shed. It's right behind me. We took old shed that was on the property before, and that's where our chickens roost at night. And we closed in a cooped area, so our ducks stay in there at night, as well as when we first had them, they weren't big enough to free roam without problems, so we kept them in this little area. And we had shout out to my future father-in-law for taking the first episode and making the first door. And then today a project, because we will eventually close off this area so that we can either sow things in the ground, give it a chance to recover from the chicken abuse it's had, as well as I wanted the ability to make a second opening for the chickens. So went on a pretty simple project, cut out a square, put a hinge joint on it, put a couple keyhole slots into it, and voila, we have a second door. That'll be good for the future. Once again, when we eventually quarantine off the current area. So it's a little thing, but that's been a project I've been talking about doing forever, and I wasn't sure what all it would take to do so. It seems pretty simple, and it was pretty simple, but once again, I don't have carpentry knowledge. I'm just kind of cutting and praying that it works, and it did. We had a friend who also runs a homestead. We wound up running about 20 miles away, who had a old rabbit hooch, and we're gonna convert this into something in the future, probably another coop area when our teats are too small to actually be integrated into the flock, but too big to be in the brooder. Probably going to set that up for them, but that's life on the homestead. You get lots of little stuff and you accumulate for the future. Difference between being a hoarder and an organizer. So hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a great day, and this is Joe from Bumbling Acres, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and be safe and have a great day. Bye.